You just argued essentially that all of these laws, including gravity, they're very fine tuned, and they had to pre-exist. They had to exist in order for the world to come into being, in order for the world then to continue to develop the way it did. So what does Hawking say? Like, what's his response to that? What would be, the classic scientific response to, well, where do those laws come from? Where do those finely tuned laws that were necessary for the world to get to where it is today,
right,
and then
right.
come into existence? Where did that come from? How does it? I'm repeating myself. Sorry.
Right. Right, I understand. Yeah, the answer is that they suggest that although these are the laws and these are the fine-tuned constants in our universe, and every observation we've ever done indicates these constants are constant, they're fixed, they always are these same fine-tuned values. In truth, there's an infinite multiverse of many, infinitely many universes, and which we can't see or observe or verify, and each one of these universes, the constants are different values. Again, we've never observed anything like that. The constants changing, but they suggest that in different universes, every one of the universes, these hypothesized universes, there's a different set of values for these constants. And therefore, the fact that our values are fine-tuned is just the result of we happen to be in the fortunate one. We're an observation bias that we happen to be in the one universe out of the infinitely many, which happen to have
but
the
that
right
doesn't
values for the
help
constants.
explain. How does that
So
explain how the world came
that's
into being in the first place?
Yeah.
That explains how things develop on their own, maybe, the complexity and all that. But in terms of the initial coming into being, where do those rules and laws come from if there was nothing before?
So for the laws themselves, Hawking believes, or believed before he died recently, that that the laws are eternal. They just are that way. Just like if you were to ask somebody, where did God come from? So he's going to say, look, that God is the first principle. He exists. He's a fundamental existence. There's nothing that causes God. He causes everything else. A scientist will say that the laws of nature are they are the fundamental existences. They're these complex equations that govern all physical reality. They might generate universes on their own, according to Hawking and other physicists. And they have no cause. They just are that way because they are that way. And you can't ask that question, which is legitimate in a certain sense. It's legitimate to say that everybody's, no matter who you are, whether you believe in God, whether you are a physicist, there is going to come a point where you can say, I can't explain any further. I can't say what caused God, and they can't say what causes the laws of nature. They're just going to say those are their gods in a certain sense. Their gods are complex equations.
So Aaron, they're really attributing, certain power to the laws, to nature itself, the way we attribute that power.
Absolutely, they believe in these powerful equations, gods. They're uncaused, but they're complex, meaning they have a lot of parts. There's different parts to these equations. They're not simple. They're not like one God in that sense. And they're unintelligent. That's like the big argument. They hold that these laws are unintelligent. They don't know what they're doing, but they're infinitely powerful. So there's these infinite powerful, stupid laws, or unintelligent laws, let's say in a nicer way. There's these infinitely powerful, unintelligent laws that just create infinite numbers of universes. The laws don't know what they're doing, but since they make an infinite number of universes with garbage everywhere, that 99.9% of these universes don't have anything interesting in them because the laws don't know what they're doing. But then by chance alone, you end up with a couple universes that have the right constants and the right laws of nature, and you get this amazing, wonderful universe that we live in. So they do have gods in a certain sense. They're just not intelligent.
That's so interesting. Right. And they can explain. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. As opposed to we start with the point is that we observe there to be one universe. That's all that any indication, any science tells us, that we see one universe. And anything we see about this one universe is that these constants are fixed, constant values. They call them constants of nature. And assuming that, going with that, the fact that the values of these constants are fixed, fine-tuned in a manner which is necessary for the future emergence of our unbelievable complex universe, that points to the fact that this one universe was fine-tuned.
But listen, even if you did subscribe to multiverse, let's say we just, for the sake of argument, we start to believe in multiple universes, even though they're not observable. you still have to explain how these laws came into existence in any universe. Where did they come from? So you're saying the scientists believe it's just they're embedded within the physical universe. They were always there. I mean, is that kind of like what Aristotle, the great debate between Maimonides and Aristotle? I think he believed in the eternity of the universe, and the Rambam couldn't accept that. Maimonides couldn't accept because we believe in a point of creation. Aristotle never believed in a point of creation. So do these scientists subscribe to that? They really believe it's sort of in the eternity of the universe. It always existed.
So the quote that you read by Hawking is not he's not saying the eternity of the universe. Hawking is saying the eternity of the laws. The laws are these absolute realities, and they generate a universe. But there are a lot of scientists who still believe in an eternal universe, meaning matter itself is eternal, energy is eternal, and that it goes through different phases, and out of the eternal energy, different universes spawn out. So there's still an argument among scientists whether matter is eternal or matter has a beginning, like it seems at the Big Bang. But all of them say that the laws of nature are eternal. The laws of physics have no prior cause, because I shouldn't say all of them. There's some scientists who believe in God, but they all say the laws of physics are these abstract universal principles that exist. And then there's a question whether energy itself is created by these laws or energy is eternal and has always existed.